if you're feeling frustrated with this whole YouTube, internet content space, and you can't get anyone to watch your videos or buy the thing that you're selling, then I totally empathize with you. I felt like that myself, and over the years of a lot of trial and error, I've gotten myself to a point where I make multiple 5 figures per month just by making videos and then selling different offers off the back of that. And I also have helped hundreds of people to diagnose and solve their problems. So I'm going to share with you the 6 biggest problems that I faced that most other people are facing, you probably included, and just help you dissolve the issue. Because to be honest with you, the problem that you think you have is actually not the problem. So if you're not making sales, that's a symptom. That's not a problem. So we need to instead ask ourselves, what is happening up until the point where a sale ought to happen? Because a sale is just a byproduct of effectively doing everything that I'm going to go through in this video. So really, the problem you have is actually, that's not the problem. You've got a bunch of other problems that you don't even know you have. So let's unpack them, right? So the first problem is you need awareness in order to make a sale. So there's 2 ways that awareness manifests typically. One is through viewership. So if people aren't watching your videos, obviously it's not a surprise that you're not making any sales. Okay, so how do we fix that? Well, we need to make better content. We need to learn how to package things effectively. We need to learn how to communicate effectively. We need to know what to make videos about. Because if we don't know what people want to watch, we're just going to be making stuff into the void that no one cares about. So there is a degree of trial and error here. I trust you know that if you're in this space. But yeah, you need to practice stuff and then see what gets traction. So that's one element of awareness. The second element of awareness is more important when it comes to selling an offer. It's the call to action. So very commonly when I'm speaking with people about this, they'll ask like, oh, why is nobody buying my offer? And often they've done 1 or 2 or maybe 3 call to actions. And basically a call to action is like, hey, I have this offer. You can go here to learn more about it. That's a call to action, right? So if you're not doing that, people aren't magically just going to find your offer hidden in your description or wherever you host it. So it's important that you're actually frequently telling people that your offer exists so that people can avail of the support that you have to offer them. And mainly the reason people won't do this is because they feel like they're being too salesy or they're being annoying. And it's really important that you honor that part of yourself, but also remember that you're going to piss people off no matter what you do. So if you want to like not make call to actions because you're afraid of pissing people off that would never buy your offer anyway, and prioritize them over the people that actually want to buy your offer and who need to hear it more often because maybe they didn't see your last 2 posts or your last 2 videos or your last 5 emails, dude, come on, you're being of service to them when you do more call to actions. Now, obviously there's a fine line, and sometimes we teeter over the edge of that sometimes as well, but that's part of business. It's learning. Like, give yourself the grace to make a few mistakes, okay? And your loyal audience are going to have compassion, they're going to have understanding, and the ones that don't, they were never going to buy from you anyway, so it doesn't even matter, okay? So that is the first thing that you need to be focusing on, is awareness. The second thing is messaging, right? So this is an interesting one because you can have an offer, right? That's the best offer in the world. And you can have your call to action for that offer and still nothing will happen. Now, the reason often is because your messaging is not effective. Now, messaging basically refers to how you communicate the offer. So let's take 2 examples. This is just off the cuff here. Let's say my offer is, I'll just use my literal offer, okay? My offer is, I coach people on how to speak to camera, make content, how to unpack the value that they have, turn that into a high online income. That's literally what I do, okay? Here's 2 ways that I could communicate the call to action. I could say, hey guys, if you want to learn the skill of content creation and how to edit and do beautiful color grading, then I'm running a creator sprint. You can learn about it by clicking the link in the description. The spots are limited because it's literally, you work with me directly. So I make sure that everyone gets enough attention from me. All right, that's call to action 1, okay? Call to action number 2. Hey guys, if you want to learn the skill of content creation to create really high impact content that builds an audience, that provides you with a ton of opportunities and a high online income that will give you location independence if you so desire to have that, then I'm running a creator sprint. You can learn more about it by clicking the link in the description, and we'll have a chat and see if it's fit to work together. And if it is, then I look forward to connecting with you. Now, the first call to action, it wasn't bad, but it was a bit boring. And I want to just bring your attention to what I said. I said, learn the skill of content creation, learn how to edit and do beautiful color grading. That's what I said, right? That is boring. That doesn't focus on the benefits of learning those things. The second call to action, I focused more so on the benefits, right? I did say you'll learn the skill of content creation, but what are the benefits of learning how to speak to camera, how to edit, and how to color grade? The benefits are you build an audience that trusts you, that wants to learn more from you and buy from you. The other benefit is that you get an online income because you can sell stuff on the internet. And the other benefit is that you can be anywhere in the world. So that is going to prompt somebody to really act on your call to action. Because maybe we don't wake up and say, man, I want to color grade better. But we do wake up and say, man, I wouldn't mind being able to go away for the winter to somewhere that's warmer. And if I could only earn an online income, maybe I could do that. So we make decisions based on emotion. So even clicking that link, we need to try and speak to the desire and the emotion of our ideal customers. So that's a very simple tweak to your messaging that is going to drive a shit ton more traffic to your CTAs. Right, number 3, the wrong offer. Okay, so a lot of people, they'll say to me, hey, no one's buying my offer. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them. and I've been there, you know, I've created offers that nobody wanted. And the truth is, we don't necessarily know what the market wants. So we might think that the problem is the market's not buying our offer, but actually the problem is your offer is not what the market wants. So we need to humble ourselves and we need to do a boring thing called market research. But actually, the way I like to do this and have done it in the past and do it to this day is just by getting on calls with people and asking people questions. So you can do this on YouTube through the community posts. You can do polls. You can ask, you know, questions and what have you. You can also like email your email list and say, hey guys, I'm looking to speak to 5 people just to learn about your problems. It's completely free. And we'll have a nice chat and get to know each other. And that's something I did as well. I did a lot of paid one-off one-on-ones. That was a way to learn what the problems of my customers was. And that is just like a good way to find the right offer. And if you want to go next level with this is a bit of a hack. If you sell an offer before building the offer, you're going to make an incredible offer, right? So you might ask, how on earth do I sell something that I don't have? Okay. So remember in the previous step, I talked about the messaging. I talked about speaking to the benefits, right? Really, when you're doing a call to action, you're not selling the offer as such, but you're just selling the transformation. Because the offer itself, it's going to take weeks or months to go through these processes. My offers personally, they're 2 to 6 months minimum. And so when it comes to the messaging, like I don't say exactly what's involved in the offer because it's too much stuff. It's boring because the truth is you got to put in consistent effort. over a period of time. And anyone who wants to achieve something big, they know this. So like don't worry about being deceptive or whatever, but you really need to first sell the transformation, and you're doing this in integrity. So I'm assuming you have the capability to deliver this offer when push comes to shove, okay? So what you do is you do a call to action, book a discovery call. I'm running this program, it's starting in a month. Do the call, ask, what is it you need help with? They'll tell you. And you might have like a rough outline of what you're going to do, but this is going to really fill in the gaps and make it so that you don't have to build anything until you're told exactly what to build by the customer who has just paid you. So they'll pay you and then you can build it and then deliver it. So it's just a faster way to get some cash flow, get some customers who are committed to it, and then you just build out exactly what they bought off you. It's way better than building something and then presenting it and they're like, I actually don't need help with that. Like, I already know how to do that. I actually needed help with this other thing. And since you're so far removed from, the previous version of yourself, because you are you and you've been with you this whole time. So like for me, for example, one of the things that I didn't realize people needed help with was they didn't know what to make videos about. Like they didn't know how to see their own unique value. And I just thought everyone could see their unique value. Because, I've done a decent job of kind of doing that myself over the last 10 years. But it turns out most people actually don't have that perspective. So I just built that into the offer, and it was a huge part of it. And it made it a much more enjoyable experience for everybody. So that is how you create the right offer. Okay, so if you're not selling your offer, it's possibly the wrong offer. Okay? Number 4, the reason you're not selling your offer and making money is because there's low trust or there's not enough credibility been built between you and the audience. This actually happened to me with a friend that I was helping him, and it was interesting because we had lots of views on the videos and lots of views to the landing page, but for some reason the conversion rate was just very low. And then we had a look at the YouTube Studio backend and realized that a lot of the viewers were new viewers, which means that they might have only watched one video, okay? And because of that, there wasn't a lot of trust and rapport been built. So sometimes you might have the right offer, you might have the right messaging, you might even have a lot of views, but they haven't been watching for long enough. And so you don't have enough trust built up, because trust is something that can take time to build up. So if this is the case for you, you'll know because the repeat viewership on your videos is low. And there'll be a lot of viewers to your landing page or whatever, your call booking link, but there won't be any calls booked or there won't be any sales. And that is an indication you need to build more relationship before you can make the sale. It's kind of like if you're on a dating app or you get someone's phone number and you want to go on a date, but so far it's just been like small talk, and you're like, oh, let's go, somewhere. And if there's not enough trust or not enough sense that, oh, I actually want to go somewhere with this person, then, that can be a problem. So you got to spend more time nurturing the person, getting to know them a little bit better, letting them get to know you in this case. So that's the 4th issue. The 5th one is just not enough data, right? So, some people will come to me and be like, no one's bought my thing. And then I ask, well, how many people have looked at the page? And it's like 10 people. And that's not really enough data. We can't make a decision as to whether or not this is working or not until we have, a couple hundred people looking at that page. Because then we can actually assess, okay, what is the conversion rate? So that's something to keep in mind as well. You do need to just commit to something for a period of time. So this is the same with making videos. If you're not getting traction, you can't just determine that that's the wrong video to make until you've made like 20 of them over a few weeks or a few months. So sometimes you just gotta just do it for longer, and then you'll start to iron out the kinks and figure out which of these actual problems is the problem. Because again, if there's not enough data, you don't know what's wrong. Now the sixth thing here, which I almost didn't put on the list, is price. So if nobody's buying your thing, and let's assume all this other stuff is perfect, then could it be the price? Is that why no one's buying? Well, in a lot of cases, no. But the truth is, with the price, there's two kind of factors to consider. One is how you're selling it. So like, what is your sales process, selection, mechanism? And basically there's kind of two options that you could use. One is like a landing page with a buy now button, and then one is through like a discovery call, sales call, something like this. Now, if no one is buying it on the landing page, and let's assume your landing page is perfect, then it could be it's too expensive. In which case, you got to just test the price, change the price. But again, don't do this if you don't have enough data, and don't just assume the price is the problem, because it could be that you don't have enough eyeballs. It could be that your messaging is off. It could be that it's the wrong offer. It could be that there's no trust been built. It could be that there's not enough data, in which case changing the price is not going to do anything. Okay? You're just going to keep changing the price until you give it away for free, and still no one wants it, which happens all the time, by the way. People try to give stuff away for free and people won't take it because like there's no perceived value, there's no trust, there's no desire from people to actually get the thing. So that's why price is like rarely the issue. A situation where you might find price to be an issue is like, let's say you're doing a sales call for a high ticket offer. Let's say you're selling it for 2K, and this is how you know if it's too cheap or too expensive. If it's too expensive, let's say you do 30 calls and everyone says it's too expensive. It's too expensive. For the audience that you have at the moment, it is too expensive. Like, that's enough data to know that it is too expensive. If that is literally the objection, if it's a logistical, financial objection, as in they do not have the cash, then it's too expensive. If you have 30 calls and let's say my average close rate, we'll call it like 30%. For me, it's about 50% right now, but that's because I'm me and I do my own calls. My close rate is 50%. My stuff actually is that's sign that my stuff could be increased because I'm closing too many people. Too many people are buying it, so there's not enough resistance, which means I could probably increase the prices some more until people say, oh, that's too much. Like logistically, that I just don't have that. In which case, okay, this is a good price, okay? But generally, the price is not the problem, because the price is the last thing that people really need to consider when it comes to working with you. Because you should have been making videos, you should have been nurturing them, you should have been providing them value, you should have been finding out what offer they need to solve the problems that they have, and, you know, doing all of that effectively. And then it's just a matter of, logically, do you have the cash or not? And if no, then maybe reduce the price. If too many people have the cash, increase the price. So that is pretty much the 6 reasons that I have discovered through doing this for about a decade with lots of different offers in different industries. And I hope that this has been of value to you. If you want to learn from me directly, if you want me to hold your hand and help you diagnose which of these issues you're potentially facing right now, then you can schedule in a chat with me below and we can have a discussion to see if I can help you and support you, and if it might be a good idea to work together. Other than that, you can check out this video next, because I break down literally everything you need to know about my blueprint behind the business that I've built and that I'm continuing to build.